Many beginners in Notion struggle with the concept of relations and rollups when it deals with databases. Well, today I'm going to make that very simple for you guys with this example of 3 different databases that are going to be connected between relationships, and we're going to grab data through rollups. Now, with this data that we're going to be grabbing, we're going to do an average and also counting. So a few different examples so that way you can implement them in your own Notion systems. All right, I'm going to jump on Notion and let's start. So I created a brand new page, relations and rollups. First thing I'm going to do is click these 3 dots over here, and we're going to make this a full width. So we're going to put 3 databases over here. So do /inline. We're going to create our first database over here. And what I'm going to name this one is bands. Awesome. Go down here, /inline. And then we're going to have this one as albums. And then a third one, /inline. And we're going to name this as concerts. So the goal is to get albums into this bands page and also concerts into this bands page. And we're going to do a few other calculations and stuff like that. But first, let's add in a band. So we're going to add in here 9 Inch Nails. We're going to add in here Van Halen. And we're also going to add in the Smashing Pumpkins. We're going to delete this tag. We don't need that. Instead, we're going to have some text here. We're just going to put in here lead singer. So 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, Van Halen. There's been 3, but for this example, we're going to put David Lee Roth. And then the Smashing Pumpkins, we're going to put Billy Corgan. And then year founded, we're going to put that as the number. Founded, 9 Inch Nails, 1988, Van Halen, 1973, and Smashing Pumpkins, 1988. If these are wrong, don't kill me. I just looked these up before the video. Awesome. Albums, let's add in a few over here. So we're going to put Downward Spiral. Then we're going to put over here with Teeth. Then we're going to put Van Halen. And then we're also going to put 1984. And then we're going to leave the Smashing Pumpkin one blank just so you guys can see an example. And then concerts over here, we're going to put over here Rockville. And also we're going to put over here Vets Aid. And then delete tags because I don't need these. We're going to do the same thing for the albums. We don't need those. And what we're going to do for concerts as well is do a number for year. So year. And then both these are 2022. And just to clean things up a little bit more for you guys, delete this empty row over here. And we're going to put an album review. So number, put album review, and make sure that we choose a bar over here. And we're going to divide by 5 because I'm going to put this review out of 5. So watch what happens. Let's say the Downward Spiral is a 5 out of 5. We have that over there. With Teeth, we're going to put as a 4. Van Halen, 5. And then 1984, we'll put a 4. You guys can see that is built out over here. And now let's start building out our relations and also rollups. So what we're going to do first is add a relation between bands and also albums. I would like to have the bands show up next to the album, and I would like to have some of the albums show up next to the bands page. So what we're going to do is click this plus icon over here, and we're going to do relation. Okay, and then we're going to relate bands specifically to albums. And then you can see that's over there, no limit. And then I want to show on albums, as I was mentioning. So click this right over here, and then click add relation. So now these are both blank. So let's start adding these over here. So 9 Inch Nails, we can either go over here and select the albums that are associated with it. So we can click the Downward Spiral, and also with Teeth, you can see these plus icons, or I can go down to this over here, do the same thing, and click 9 Inch Nails. So we'll do both, right? So Downward Spiral, we'll go over here and click as 9 Inch Nails. As soon as I do that, you see it shows up over here. Now I can also go over here and click with teeth, and that shows up. So you can do it both ways. Van Halen, we're just going to add over here, Van Halen and 1984. So you guys can see how both of those are there. And Smashing Pumpkins, well, they don't have an album over here, so there's nothing to have as a relation between both of these. Up next, we're going to show the average of the album reviews. So how we're going to do that is through a roll up. So click over here to roll up. And first we have to do relation. So relation to albums. Property, we're going to do album review. And currently, right, it shows 5454, right? Album reviews. But what we want to do is calculate the average. So go down over here and click average. So both of these are 4.5. Kind of cool. Now, let's say I absolutely hated With Teeth, right? I think it's a great album, but not all Nine Inch Nails fans think that. So let's say I give this a 1 out of 5. Then we can see that the average over here drops down to a 3 instead of a 4.5. However, let's say it's my favorite album, and I know Dave Grohl played the drums on a lot of the songs, and I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan, right? Let's say I make it a 5 out of 5. Now the average turns out to be a 5, which is great. So that shows you how the average works. Let's bring this back down over here to a 4. And what we're going to do now is create a relation between the concerts database over here and also the bands. So what we're going to do is click plus icon again, do relation. And this time we're going to go over to concerts. Again, let's click this so it shows up on both sides of things. And boom, now it's working. So let's add in a few concerts. So 9 Inch Nails, been able to see them at both Vets Aid and also Rockville last year. So we'll add in a plus for both of those. And check it out. Down over here, 9 Inch Nails, 9 Inch Nails. But at Rockville, I also saw Smashing Pumpkins. So go over to this over here, and we're going to add in Smashing Pumpkins. So if we go back up to this top one, even though Smashing Pumpkins did not have any albums that were reviewed, they still can have a relation over to this concert database. And you see Rockville over here. And even though Van Halen, I've never seen live, which is a big regret of mine, you can still see that the album reviews still show up. So you don't always need to have a relation to each database you're connecting them. I want to show you guys one other thing that's kind of cool. So we're going to do a roll up once again. And this time we're just going to count. So property, we're going to choose name over here. And once again, Vets Aid and Rockville show up. But this time what I want to do is count all. So you can see that I've seen 9 Inch Nails twice. It shows up over there. Smashing Pumpkins once. It shows up as a 1. And then 0 for Van Halen. Hope this video is helpful. If it was, you should watch this one right over here, which is 100 Notion Tips and Tricks.